Hello, everyone. Hello again. Welcome to the Canadian Immigrant Web Conference Series in partnership with ACCES Employment and sponsored by Public Mobile. This industry-specific web conference series for internationally educated engineers, technologists, and technicians will be recorded and posted on our website for those of you who cannot attend in person. So we're happy that you're all joining us today, and we look forward to a great session. Thank you to our sponsors who support Canadian Immigrant and allow us to run these free events and webinars for newcomers and immigrants across the country. So to get started, let's show you a short video from one of our sponsors. Hi, thanks, Laura. Thanks for recording this. So to get things started, we would like to show a short video from one of our sponsors, Public Mobile. So Laura, please play this. Yeah.
Matt and Megan felt stuck with their phone company. But since switching to Public Mobile, where there's no commitments, no contracts, and no hidden fees, they're free to feel the love again.
Hi, thank you. So I'm just going to introduce the team. I'm Ramya Ramanathan, the editor of Canadian Immigrant. And with me are my colleagues, Laura Jackman, Ricky Bajaj, and Sanjay Agnihotri. So we're thrilled to welcome you to the webinar. So I'm going to introduce our first speaker from OSPE, Aarti Vij. Aarti works for OSPE as a Bridging Programs Manager, and through her NPPE Exam Skills Preparation Program, has worked extensively with international engineering graduates in Ontario for over 9 years. So Aarti, it's great to have you here. So if you have any questions for Aarti during the chat, during the presentation, please feel free to type them in the chat by clicking on the chat function on your screen or Q&A buttons, and we will answer them at the end of the presentation. You can also email us at info@canadianimmigrant.ca. So Aarti, thank you for joining us, and please go ahead.
Great, thank you so much, Ramya. I'm just gonna go ahead and share my screen and jump into a short presentation that I hope will be valuable to the folks on the session today. All right, so as Ramya mentioned, my name is Aarti, and I'm a Bridging Program Manager with the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers. I'll do a brief introduction to who we are as a society. The Ontario Society of Professional Engineers was founded by engineers in the year 2000. We are a voluntary membership organization, and what that means is that individuals choose to pay an annual fee to become a member with us, and that membership then enables them to gain access to our courses, workshops, networking events at a discounted rate. And then there are also some additional member perks that they receive through that membership. As a society, there are sort of 4 key ways in which we work towards advancing the professional and economic interests of Ontario's engineers. We have our advocacy department, and our advocacy department is really there to raise the profile of engineers in the province of Ontario in order to help society recognize the value that engineers play in all that we see in our environment. We have our member services department as well, which is there to answer our members' questions, and our Ontario Engineering Academy, where all of our courses and workshops reside. And then we have a career center as well. You'll be hearing a little bit about some of the services that we offer, but before I go into a little bit about the engineering profession, I just wanted to acknowledge that at the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers, these are the advocacy priority areas that we have for 2021. So a lot of work in energy, the environment, infrastructure, COVID, research and innovation, the engineering workforce, and equity, diversity, and inclusion. So I know a lot of you are here today and interested in the engineering profession here in Canada. And so I have a few slides to give you a really broad overview of what is considered a profession in Canada and then what that looks like specifically for engineering. So when we look at the components of a profession, it's sort of like what defines a profession, there are three key things that tend to be characteristics of a profession. Knowledge that is specialized, a license, and the delivery of a service that's in the interest of the public. So looking at knowledge that's specialized, that's really when, professions have folks who have advanced technical knowledge and skills. Often that's a university degree. A license is usually provided by a regulatory body who's responsible for designating those licenses. And then delivering a service in the interest of the public is really about taking on the public's trust and being bound by some sort of ethical code. Looking specifically at engineering, here in Canada, engineering is a regulated profession. Engineers have a set of specialized intellectual knowledge in order to practice their profession. And because of this specialized knowledge, there's a level of trust and responsibility placed on a professional engineer, and that the public really holds dearly. There are a number of regulated professions in Canada. Doctors, lawyers, geoscientists are some, for example. And because engineering meets all of the requirements of the definition, they are also considered a regulated profession. Who can be called an engineer in Canada? In Canada, we have provincial engineering accreditation bodies, and those bodies determine who can and cannot be called an engineer. So here in Canada, to be called an engineer, you do have to have a license, specifically the PEng designation, in the provincial or territorial jurisdiction in which you are employed. Also, the title professional engineer here in Canada is restricted by law, and so only licensed engineers can call themselves a professional engineer here in Canada. In terms of looking at the regulators in Canada, you can see this map here determines the different regulatory bodies across the country. And so each of these regulatory bodies are responsible for determining the rules and regulations within that province. And so each province has its distinct body, and each of those bodies is responsible for designating the professional engineering license. Now, because each province has its own regulatory body, the licensure process to get that professional engineering designation can vary from province to province. But what I wanted to do was provide a very broad overview of generally what the licensing process can look like. This is largely based on, Ontario, but I think the steps are very similar across the provinces with a few tweaks. So generally speaking, in order to start the licensing process, there's an application process that the applicant needs to begin. Usually there are a number of documents that need to be submitted by the applicant in order to start the licensing process at their regulatory body. The regulatory body then usually conducts some sort of academic assessment where they are looking at the documents that were submitted at the application phase, and then based on those documents, making some determination of what the next steps might be for the applicant as they move through the licensing process. Now, in the academic assessment phase, there might be some additional exams that folks need to write. Here in Ontario, for example, during the academic assessment, sometimes people might be required to write technical exams in their engineering discipline of study, or they might be required to do an interview with the regulatory body in order to get a better understanding of their technical knowledge as the academic principles are applied to that knowledge. So again, each province will vary in terms of what happens in that academic assessment, but using Ontario as an example, you can see that there are different scenarios that can occur. Once people have completed whatever has been assigned to them in the academic assessment phase, usually there is some form of a national professional practice exam or a professional practice exam, which is an exam about law and ethics. And so again, because engineering is a regulated profession and there is a need to hold the trust of the public, this PPE or NPPE exam is really about ensuring that applicants in the licensing process have a good understanding of their legal and ethical responsibilities. And then there is some form of work experience requirement. Again, each province will have a different requirement for the work experience, but applicants would need to fulfill the required years of engineering work experience. Usually a certain number of years are accepted from outside of Canada once they've been reviewed. But here in Ontario, again, for example, individuals do need 1 year of Canadian work experience in order to fulfill the work experience requirements. If you're from a different province, you'll want to take a look at what the requirements are in your specific province. Once you've completed all of these steps, you're then eligible usually to apply for the actual designation. And once you've got the designation, you're able to call yourself a professional engineer. So that's a very quick overview. And what I wanted to do now is speak a little bit about some of the supports that the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers offers to folks who are going through the licensing process in Ontario. We do also sometimes have folks from other provinces participate in some of these workshops. So one support is that if folks are looking for a very specific, more detailed explanation of the licensing process in the province of Ontario, we do run a monthly webinar where we spend an hour providing a broad overview of that process and the supports that OSPI offers along the way. Those webinars are free and available on our website. As well, here in Ontario, folks do sometimes have to write technical exams or are assigned technical exams. And so we run prep courses for those technical exams in any discipline that somebody is assigned a technical exam. And so they're able to meet with their instructor and other colleagues to get a better understanding of how best to prepare for those exams. OSPI also has a government-funded program to support individuals who are preparing for the National Professional Practice Exam. So the National Professional Practice Exam is actually an exam that is delivered by many provinces across the country. The majority of the exam is the same across all provinces, and then typically each province will have a set of 10 or 20 additional questions that are specific to their province. So here in Ontario, again, as the society, we developed a program designed specifically for international engineering graduates who are preparing for that exam in order to slow the learning down and build on their knowledge in order to help them feel more confident in writing this exam. Generally speaking, again, across Canada, the National Professional Practice Exam is an exam that's delivered 5 times a year. It is a multiple choice exam, and often when people hear that the law and ethics exam is a multiple choice exam, they feel comfortable in the fact that it is probably an easy exam. The reality is that the National Professional Practice Exam is a tricky exam. Folks who are preparing for the exam, regardless of what province you're in, you do want to ensure that you're not just memorizing the concepts, but rather that you're really understanding those concepts so that you can apply your knowledge to the kinds of tough multiple choice questions that are asked during the exam. Lastly, here in Ontario, we have a process whereby applicants do need to submit what's called an experience record, which summarizes their engineering work experience to the criteria that the regulator is evaluating their work against. And so OSPE has a Preparing Your Experience Record workshop. It's a full-day workshop to help guide people through that process and getting them to understand how to think about their work experience in the form of stories that align to the criteria that they're being evaluated against. And again, depending on the province that you're in, you might also have some form of an experience record that is required. And so, really thinking about what the best examples of your work are to showcase during in preparing your experience record is important. Lastly, we have an engineering academy with a number of courses and workshops, some that are relevant to licensing, but a lot of other courses that are not specific to licensing. So, people who might want to be getting certifications. And again, we have folks participate in that across Canada. And so just if you're looking to enhance your skills, something to keep your eye out on. Finally, we have a career services department, and there we have job search workshops, we have a career center and virtual employment events. I'll talk a little bit about our virtual employment opportunities because this would be relevant to anyone regardless of where you are in the country. Essentially, the way that this works is that we have employers who post job postings on our website, and when they're looking for people who meet those requirements, potential applicants can come to our website, check out the job posting, and if they feel that their skills align with those job posting opportunities, the applicant can submit a video introduction of themselves. The employers then review those video introductions and determine who they might want to take into the next stage of the licensing of the interviewing process. So it's a great way, especially during COVID, to help get yourself in front of an employer. We do have a virtual employment event happening in August. The deadline is sometime late in July to submit your videos. So do check out our website if you're currently looking for work. Our job board, just wanted to quickly say that our job board has job postings across Ontario, but also in different parts of Canada as well. So again, if you're looking for work, this is a job board that has engineering employment opportunities and for different positions as well. And those are all open to the public. You don't have to be a member of OSPE to take advantage of those. So that was my very brief introduction to both engineering as a whole and also to the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers. I do see that there are a few questions coming in. So at this point, I'm going to move to the question period to see if folks have any questions that I'm able to address.
Thank you, Arti. That was a great presentation, a lot of great information there. Very comprehensive. Thank you. So we have a number of questions that have come in. Let's see how many we can get to. Can I apply if I'm an international student in Canada to the licensing program?
So if you're an international student, I'll just break that question down a little bit. So as an international student, if you wanted to start the licensing process with the regulatory body in the province that you're in, you would be able to do that. In terms of the licensing program that I mentioned in this slide deck, which is the government-funded bridging program here in Ontario, there are some eligibility requirements, and one of which is that you do have to be a permanent resident, so that wouldn't be relevant, but also that particular bridging program that I described in this slide deck is really for folks who have already started the licensing process and are really getting ready to prepare for that exam. Because that exam is in the third stage typically of the licensing processes, there are so many other things that you're wanting to focus on in the licensing process before you're even thinking about the exam, that we usually encourage people to hold off on taking that program before.
Great, thank you. Thank you for that. Can the PN status that is obtained in one province be transferred to another province?
Great question. So yes, while in Canada we have different regulatory bodies across the provinces, if somebody has obtained their PN designation in one province and then say moves to a different province, there is a process for being able to transfer your license to the new province. Where it becomes tricky and a little bit more difficult is if you've started the licensing process in one province and not completed it, and then you move to another province, then typically you would have to start all over again in the new province.
Great, thank you.
No problem.
So I'm a graduated engineer, but don't have engineering work experience. Can I still apply?
So another good question. You can definitely still apply. And again, you want to make sure to look at the details of the province that you're in, because each province has, different rules and requirements. I know here in Ontario, if you don't have any engineering work experience, you can still start the process. The thing that you want to keep in mind, though, is that once you complete sort of that national professional practice exam, you wouldn't be able to move forward in the licensing process until you acquire all of the years of engineering work experience. Now, you can be doing that while you're in the process, but it's just important to know that at some point, you'll be waiting to acquire the experience before finally getting the designation.
And these different guidelines for each province are on the websites, the provincial websites?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. And if you are uncertain about who your regulatory body is in the province that you're in, you might want to visit the Engineer Canada website, and then they would have a list of all the regulatory bodies.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
I've submitted my application for a PN in November of last year, but haven't received a review assessment as of yet, and was told it might take more time due to COVID. Is there something I can do to lessen the time?
So again, I'll speak from the Ontario perspective, but I imagine that it might be similar across the provinces. I know here in Ontario, the regulator, Professional Engineers Ontario, has had a bit of a delay due to COVID and due to things moving from, typically being sent in by mail to now being delivered electronically, and also with closures to the office. I know that they've had quite a bit of a delay, and unfortunately, as far as I know, there isn't anything that you can do. Just know that there are a lot of other folks in a similar situation, and that I'm sure the regulatory body is working as quickly as they can to move through those applications.
Everything's slow because of COVID, right? We just have to accept that. Yeah. So based on the data, how does getting a license increase my chances of employment? So they're looking for data.
So I think it depends really on the engineering discipline that you're in. I don't have any data off the top of my head here right now, but what I will say is, I work with a lot of international engineering graduates through the program that I manage. And what I normally say to my international engineering graduates is, if you're uncertain about whether you want to pursue the path to licensure, what I would recommend is to do a quick Google search and take a look at, try Googling the kinds of jobs that you're interested in obtaining. And when you look at those jobs, how many of them are asking for the designation? Or how many of those jobs are asking for you to be in the process of obtaining that designation? And right there, I think you yourself, for your own individual circumstances, are going to get a good sense of how important that might be for you. The other thing that I'll say is just a reminder, while you can't call yourself a professional engineer until you have the designation, you are able to work under PEngs in engineering positions. So it's that you need to be under the supervisor of a PEng, while you're working. So that's why a lot of people might start the licensing process and then be looking for work as they're pursuing that.
Okay. What happens if I don't pass the exam? Can I take it again?
So the National Professional Practice Exam, I'll speak specifically to. Yes, I believe, well, certainly you can try again. Each province might have different rules around how many times you can try. Here in Ontario, I know you have, I think, up to 3 chances, but also a timeline within which you have to pass it. So.
Thank you so much for that. And we'll just, a lot of great questions. There's some more we can't answer right now, but well, we'll just take one more. I think we have the time for one more. Does my studying under my superiors who are both PEng, who both have PEng designations count towards Canadian experience?
So again, sorry, I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but it will depend on the province that you're in. And so I always encourage you to take a look at the requirements of your province. I know here in Ontario, for example, if you have acquired experience in an academic institution, say through postgraduate degree work, that might be counted as one of the 3 years of required experience, but it doesn't typically count as the 1 year of Canadian experience that usually needs to happen within industry. Of course, there are some exceptions, but how that plays out is really dependent on all of that documentation that you're submitting to the regulator and the assessment that they do on that.
Thank you so much. Our attendees that have more questions, please do email it and we'll forward it on. So welcome to our next speaker at the Canadian Immigrant Web Conference Series for internationally trained engineers, technicians, and technologists in partnership with ACCES Employment and sponsored by Public Mobile is Rezol Helali from ACCES. Rezol has been working with IEP engineers for over 10 years and is the manager of the Electrical Engineering Connections program at ACCES Employment. So welcome to you. Rezol. Again, if you have any questions for Rezol, please feel free to type them in the chat by clicking the chat or Q&A button and typing them in the right-hand side, and we will answer them after the presentation. So, and you can also email us at info@canadianimmigrant.ca. So please go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Rama. You can hear me?
Yes, perfectly.
Perfect. So thank you so much for inviting me. It's a great opportunity to meet with all internationally trained professionals. So first of all, in my previous presentation, you learned about the licensing process and other aspects of engineering, but my presentation is very much focused on job because I only take care of job and I always worked for the job search for the engineering professionals. So in my presentation, there will be 2 aspects. One is some kind of job search program, which is designed for the foreign trained professionals. And at the second part, I will share my last around 11, 12 years experience working with engineers. So that might be very, very helpful for some of you, those who are planning to come to Canada or you are in Canada already. So I have my personal lessons, which I will share with you. So I'm sure it will make your life a little easier. So let me share my screen first. Okay, so here I am. So I'm sure some of you know, or maybe I can give a quick introduction about my organization, ACCES Employment. It is absolutely a non-profit private organization, and we are in this sector for more than 30 years. We are specialized in designing different job search program for the foreign trained professional according to the different occupation. So Engineering Connections is one of the program which we started more than 10 years. So I will talk about this. Now my agenda for this presentation will be, first I will talk about the program, how to get in touch with us and what are the eligibility and suitability requirement for the program, different streams, then support, eligibility, registration. And then the second part, I will have some kind of my personal reflection, and then there will be opportunity for Q&A. So let's start with the ACCES Engineering Connections program. So we are implementing this program for more than 12 years. So continuously, we are implementing this. Around 5,000 graduates, all are foreign trained engineers. 80% of our graduates are employed in their respective field within the 6 up to 9 months of their graduation from our program. Over 800 employers are engaged with our program. We have a strong partnership with all the leading academic institutions, like say 3-4 institutions are closely working with us, like Ryerson University, Seneca College, and Humber College, and you will learn about this. We have strong partnership with PEO and OSPI, particularly Arthi is a very good resource for us. She is always guiding us. And we also have a first time in Canada, the first online bridging program for the electrical engineers since 2018. It doesn't mean that we anticipated that COVID will come, but by nature, we designed this program in 2018 only for the electrical engineers. And our success, actually, it comes from our alumni. So they are the main resource for our success, and our alumni, they support us for the placement and coaching our new participants in our program. So that's the beauty of this program. Now I will talk about the different programs. So these are informations you will find in our website. So don't feel pressure to read all these slides, or you can take the screenshot, or you can come to visit our website, you will get all this information. So overall, we have 4 different streams in our Engineering Connections program. We call it Job Search for Engineers. It is delivered from different 3 locations. It's a 6 weeks full-time program and funded by the federal government. And you can see that our academic partner is the Humber College and Seneca College. In this program, you will see that there are 2 kinds of topics. So one is the job search topics as well as the engineering topics. So you can see at the end of the screen. So in the jobs engineering topics, there are some code and standard, because as a foreign trained engineers, we need to know what are the local compliance. So in order to familiarize you and make you more marketable, we have the session so that you can learn about different code, standard, bylaws, rules, regulations, contracting process. And the job search is typical content like how to write resume, interview preparation, labor market, all this kind of thing. The eligibility wise, you can see that you need to be permanent resident or conventional refugee, 1 year of engineering experience, internationally trained, and the Canadian language benchmark 7. So this is the one stream of job search program. Then the second stream is, we call it Workplace Essential for Engineers. So some of our foreign trained professionals, they need language updating, some communication skills development. So for them, we have a different program. This is also 6 weeks funded by the federal government, and Humber College is our partner, delivered from 2 locations. And you can see here, you can see 3 topics. So one is the job search topics and the engineering topic and the language component. So language component is more here, around 70% time will be dedicated to the language topics, business writing, communication, then engineering topic will be say 10%, and job search topic will be 20%. So this is very much dedicated for people who needs language upgrading or communication skills development. Then we have a specialized program for the project management for engineers. So this is a very different kind of program. And some of you know that if you are pursuing your PMP, you need 35 hours of PDU. So this is the PDU, one of our PDU. So this is designed as an exam preparation course in partnership with the Ryerson University. So this program is totally designed and delivered by the Ryerson University. It's an 8 weeks course, full-time. It has a little tuition fee, but if someone is interested, they can get bursary from the government, Ontario government. This program is considered as 35 hours of PDU. There's certain requirements, similar requirement, but we need a little bit of benchmark, language benchmark of 7, 8. And also we need to see that people have the full cycle of project management at least for 2 years. So this is another program. And in this program, there's a very special thing. You can look at this section. In this program, we have included the experiential learning component, a real life project assignment. So we have a strong partnership with the different companies. So we get a project from the company and we distribute it among our participants according to the scope of the project so that they can practice how project managements are being implemented here so they can learn from the real life project. So this is the last edition of this program, the Electrical Engineering Connections. This is absolutely online program since 2018, mostly in the evening session and 2 or 3 times in a week. And it's a quarterly intake and it has a little bit of tuition fee. This program is funded by provincial government of Ontario, and the partner is Humber College. This program is a little different than other 3 programs. In this program, interestingly, we'll see the content. The engineering topic is 105 hours, but the job search content is only 40 hours. So it has a huge academic component in this program. And you can see from here that what are the topics, like this, as it is electrical engineering, so health and safety code standard, application of measuring instruments, Ontario electric code, in industrial automation, Ontario energy system, electrical equipment in Ontario. So it is hugely influenced by the technical topics and also the job search topics. So these are the 4 mainstream programs with ACCES. Now, in order to help you, I mean the participant, to get this, because our goal is the job. Our performance is measured based on the job placement, not based on how many people enroll. We are not an academic institution. We are the employment service provider. So apart from the academic programs, we offer job search support, one-on-one coaching, and we have a specialized job placement consultant, and we have the employer connections. We do different webinars. We do the mentoring opportunities, virtual recruitment event. And also we have the business coach and the language and communications coach. All are the engineering professionals. So they will be working with our participant one-on-one basis to make them more marketable in the labor market. So this is the support we provide for our participants. Now the registration process is the first of all, you need to know when is our info session, which is available on our website. After the info session, we will request for, because it's a government funded program, so we need some documentation. After the documentation, then we will, if you are eligible and suitable, that we will take you to the program. Now, required document, we also need some documentation. So we need to see your credential evaluation reports, so from WES or other. We need the language assessment report, IELTS or Canadian language benchmark. We need to see a resume so that we know you are from the engineering background, and also your immigration status paper. For the electrical engineering program, we also need to see that you are living in Ontario, because this is funded by the provincial government, and this program is only for the people who live in Ontario. So this is important. So this is our program. Our next upcoming programs are like this. You can take a screenshot, those who are interested. And then if you are interested to know more about our organization and the program, so you can click on the website and you can go to the respective page, and then you can get in touch with us. So this is all about the program which we deliver from our organization. Now I want to share you, because I want to take this opportunity to share my personal experience, because I've been working with engineers for a long time. So I learned a lot from them, and also you can learn from me. So first thing I want to share with you that what are the primary challenges when you come to Canada or in Ontario? The primary challenges are like this, what we or I identify. The first thing is the understanding the labor market. Okay, what type of jobs are here? Okay, I am from civil engineering. Okay, what are the jobs in civil engineering? There are 60 or 70 job title under the civil engineering according to the National Occupational Classification. So I need to know what is my stream, what is my career path. Then the next challenge is understanding the local code, standard, certification, application, and software. So if I'm coming from Middle East, the asphalt code in Middle East and asphalt code in Ontario is not the same. Then there are so many certifications. If you are coming from some other countries, if you are an instrumentation control engineer, maybe you are expert in Siemens protocol. But when you landed in Pearson Airport, from the next day, employer will ask for Allen Bradley. So these are the things I need to know when I am looking for a job as an engineer. Also the career roadmap. So I say, for example, I'm a mechanical engineer specialized in manufacturing. Okay, so first time, can I get a job as a newcomer as a production engineer? Very difficult. So what would be my roadmap? Should I start with a lead hand, whether I will start as a production supervisor or I will start as a quality control? So what? So these are the things I need to know according to the market. Then job search tool. The free size job search, free size resume and the cover letters or the biodata or resume, whatever we call it here, it will not work. It doesn't work here. We need to understand one thing. Canada is a land of specialization. If I want to survive here, if I want to grow here, I need to specialize on something. Same way, if I am a civil engineer, it doesn't mean that I can construct from, I can design the vertical and subsection, and I can design road, I can design highways, tunnel. No, I cannot. So I need to specialize. Same thing, the job search. So I'm looking for a job as a project coordinator. I need to reflect it as a project coordinator. Same, another important challenge is that the presentation and communication. Yes, I know engineers by default, they like working and they don't like presentation. They like work. They are very serious and sincere person. But here, very important, as a foreign trained engineers, as an employer, how do I know that you know this thing? So you need to communicate, and you need to communicate in such a way so that I understand whether you can do my job or not. The last challenge they face is the professional networks. Yes, here it's a very, very important to have a professional network. If you are not making noise, you don't exist in Canada. So important thing, you need to make noise. The best way to make noise is to network with the professional. So these are the primary challenge I have seen the newcomers engineers are facing. Now I want to share with you some of my own tips. First thing, please, when you are coming to Canada, don't compromise with your goal. Compromise with your strategy. Today or tomorrow, you'll be successful. Just believe yourself. You did it and you can do it again. So strategy might be different. Second thing, you as an engineer, you delivered so many projects. You did so many things. Why not, when you are coming to Canada, why not take your life as a project? Create your scope of work, specify your resource, allocate your time, specify your KPI, personal KPI, and invest your time and energy accordingly so that you can get the result. So your life become a project. It's a settlement project. Personal, you can call it as a personal settlement or integration project. You can achieve it. Have a plan to increase your local professional network. If you are coming from other country, if you have any alumni from your university, if you have any co-worker who lives in North America or French or USA or Canada, so get in touch with them. Okay, I'm moving to Canada. Is there any way you can support me? Or do you have any other friends or colleagues? All possible way, you need to expand your local network. Otherwise, you will have a hard time. Please familiarize with the regulatory requirement of licensing, which Aarti shared already, and also get in touch with the PEO. Once you are here, you need to start the process and also check the PMI website. You need to decide where do you want to go. Accordingly, you need to explore the alternative career roadmap within your occupation. So I'm saying that, okay, if you are a project manager, say, for example, you delivered a multi-billion-dollar project, you are managing this project, but when you are here, it will be very difficult for you to get such a big project or even a project engineer role or project manager's role. So in that case, what could be other way to move forward? On contrast, say, for example, you are coming from an oil and gas industry from the Middle East. So now oil and gas, and you landed in Toronto. So where is our oil and gas industry in Ontario? Impossible. There's only one area, which is Sarnias, further southwest, little bit of opportunity. But now as an oil and gas industry or chemical engineer, when you landed in Toronto or GTA, so it is very difficult to get a job within the chemical industry field. So what could be the alternative way? Okay, maybe you can go with the quality control, maybe you can go with the production, or you can change the industry, like you can go to the chemical, like paint manufacturing industry, sugar, or the water resource industry, pharmaceutical or cosmetics, or winery industry. It's a big industry in winery industry. So see, this is the way you need to think about, rather than looking for a petrol bomb. No, it will not work here. And it did not work for other people as well. And also, I will say, strategize your job search. Don't fall in love with your device, because your laptop, your personal device will not give you the job. It will give you the information. So you need to look for some people. You need to connect with the people, the connections. Like I used to say that before going for a job, start to build your net first. If your net is not working, then your job is not coming through. So please make sure once you are here, you should have a good plan. Some things you need to remember. I told earlier that please remember, in this country, employer need specialists, not generalists. If I ask you okay, what do you do? I'm a civil engineer. Oh, thank you very much. That's it. No further discussion. But if I say, what do you do? If I say that, okay, I am civil engineering specialized in steel structure. See, here is the hook. I am specialized in steel. I'm a civil engineer specialized on tunneling. Here is the hook. Otherwise, nobody will listen to you. These are the things, very important thing whenever you are coming. So whenever you are coming here or you are already here, when you're meeting with the people, please bring your specialization. Otherwise, people will consider you as a generalist. Here, we don't need generalists, we need a specialist, because we are beside America, and the only viable option to compete with Americans are the business specialists. This is very important. Plus, typically, I have seen the newcomers come to 3 areas. I call it MTV, Montreal, Toronto, and Vancouver. Here, it is an imbalanced demand and supply. So when the demand is less, supply is more as a newcomer engineer. So here comes the question of specialization, because employers are waiting. They have the choice. So now they will select based on your specialization. So before looking for a job, make sure you know what is your specialization. Another important thing, like here, you need to understand the employer like the news, not the history. If I'm coming from some other kind, and if I say to the employer during my interview, oh, I was managing a $10 billion project, or Dubai or Burj Al Khalifa project, or Qatar Convention Center, or big names in the structural design, I was the manager of that. Who cares? I'm not interested to know this thing. I want to know, what did you do there? Did you use earthquakes simulation? Did you use Six Sigma? Did you use lean methodology? Did you use Allen Bradley? Did you use Primavera or Agile? Or did you use any machine as an electrical engineer? Did you use artificial intelligence for machine learning? What? Or as an electrical engineer, did you use computerized energy management process, or power system modeling, or battery energy storage system, or lighting design? So these are the things you need to bring. These are the news for the employer. These are not history. History is that you work with a $1 billion project, and employer don't like that. They like the news because they are buying you. That is why it become a sales engineer. So you need to sell yourself. If you cannot sell yourself today, you cannot sell my project tomorrow. That's the bottom line. Soft skills are very important here. The way you talk, the way you socialize, the way you present yourself all reflects what is inside you. Yeah, I know engineers like hard skills. Yeah, I am engineers. That's fine. How do I know what you can do? You need to tell me. And you need to tell me in such a way, in a local standard way, so that I understand who you are. It is not nowadays, it is very easy to understand what is the market. So when you are coming to Canada, if you are looking for a job, say for example, if you are from mining industry and living in Toronto, difficult. So you need to look where is the mining projects. Okay, Sudbury, 4 hours further north from Toronto. If you're looking for oil and gas, okay, here. If you're looking for automotive, okay, further north. So, and what are the companies? So we need to understand where is the job and what are the technical and non-technical requirements. Just one example, I said the top 100 projects. You will see billion dollars projects are here. Just click here and you will see what are the projects, who is bidding for this project, who are the designers, who are the consulting group. You can know who is doing that. And if you see anything alignment with you, just knock those employer. So this is the way you need to learn. Then you need to familiarize yourself with the job titles, as I told earlier, 60 job titles or 40 job title under one occupation. So check the national occupational classification. Say, if you like say, for example, your experience is the tunnel or light transit. According to the NOC or according to the industry, it under civil engineer. But if you look for a civil engineer and under this envelope, you are looking for tunnel engineering, it will be difficult. That is why you need to understand what are the specific thing, and you can search job according to your desired occupation. Have an idea about the potential companies, and if you are in Canada and if you have a Toronto Public Library card or other local library card, you can use Scott's business directory. From this directory, easily you can identify what are the leading consulting companies, who are the main player, who are the production companies, who is doing with the textile here, who is doing what. Everything is possible. You can learn. And then once you know who are they, and then you can promote yourself. This is important thing. I have seen some people there struggle with this plan. Like, okay, you are by default, you are in engineering. You know, you like the application of theories, but now you are in Canada. So now you need to ask yourself whether you will be going to core engineering field or you want to go in the project management field. If you are, or whether within the civil engineering, are you going to the design side or in the operation side? So these are the things you need to think. If you are like, I know you have experience, you have the education, but in terms of career, you are like when you are coming to Canada, most of you are in the consolidation phase. So you need to consolidate your career here and you need to move forward accordingly. And finally, I will say that, okay, you need to customize your job search tool according to the market. And then remember, job search in Canada is a full-time job. Have a daily plan. So here I used to say job is like a mountain. So we need to go to the mountain. Mountain will not come to us. Please make sure you are active here. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of your family. And also you need to take care of your career. And only viable option is to balance all these things and have a solid plan and move forward. Final comment from my end. Please, you are an engineer. Trust yourself. You are an achiever. You just need to prove it one more time when you are in Canada. And you can do it. For the last 10 years, I have seen so many people, they are very successful. Most of them are successful. It's all about your plan. It's all about the time. It is possible, doable, and achievable. Yeah, William was in our program. So any question and answer now. And then here is my contact. If you can take a screenshot, if you like, you can talk to me or you can drop a line for further now. Or if you're in Canada, you can drop by to our different offices here, all the offices. Now the floor is open for discussion. So thank you, Ramaya. Am I on time?
Yes, thank you so much, Rizal. I think we have time for a few questions.
Sure, please.
So that was a very exhaustive presentation and lots of great advice. I like what you said about take your life as a project. Good advice for everyone. So,
Thank you.
okay, so our first question is, I'm not in Canada yet, but certified in my home country. Can I sign up for these programs from ACCES outside of Canada?
No, absolutely not. But there's one option for not for my program, but there is a one program which is we call it the pre-departure program, online service program. So I will ask him to check with our website, and there is a program which is pre-departure program, and there is a one stream for engineers. So it is the best option, but there is a certain criteria. If you already applied and if you have the PR number, UCIN number, then you can attend the program before coming to Canada. And there's a one stream focused to engineering.
Thank you. The next question, I'm still enrolled in my program, but before I graduate, are there any networking groups you would recommend I join so that when I graduate, I have a better chance of getting hired right away?
I will say I will strongly encourage you to communicate, like based on your occupation and your specialization in Canada, particularly in Ontario. I have seen each and every occupation they have a professional association, like Quality Control Engineering Association, Manufacturing Engineering Association, and at the same time there's an ethnic association, like Iranian Engineering Association, Romanian Engineering Association, then the PMI chapters. So there are different avenues. I will say, please get in touch with them as soon as possible. It will explore, you can explore, and it will increase your visibility in the market.
Thank you. Do you know of any particular web pages to post professional portfolios, similar to LinkedIn?
No, I think LinkedIn is the most popular one. It is better. LinkedIn, and best way to communicate with the professional is the LinkedIn. I personally recommend LinkedIn.
Are there, sorry.
No, I'm not a social media expert, but LinkedIn is the most popular. And also, I recently have seen that Glassdoor is also a very nice way. But you cannot connect with the people. You can see only the job. But in terms of connecting with the people, LinkedIn is the best option, easy option.
And is there any specific job boards that engineers should be looking at?
I personally don't like a particular job board. This is my strategy. I go with the company. So that is why I say the SCOT directory. First, I need to know who are the specialized. Say, for example, I'm electrical engineers. So what is my company? Okay, ABB, Schneider, Johnson Control, maybe other Hitachi, or say XYZ. If I know what is the company, then I will go with the thing. Because third party, depending on Indeed, Workopolis, Monster, third-party website is not a good option.
Great, thank you so much. And you've answered this. Can international students attend the ACCES program? Did you answer this? One second. No.
No,
Yeah,
of course. Mm-hmm. So go ahead. What's the question?
Can international students attend the ACCES program?
No, one of the criteria is that you must have 1 year work experience. Number one. Number two, you must have a certain status, either permanent residence or conventional residency. So as a student, as a work permit, because these programs are funded by the government, they have a certain criteria.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so thank you for that. That was some great information. And I think anyone else, there are a few more questions. Can you please send it to the email address, and or otherwise, results, shared an email address, or send it to info@canadianimmigrants.ca and .com, and we will forward it on. So thank you for that. So our final speakers for the day are with Ontario Association of Certified Engineering Technicians and Technologists. So thank you so much for being here, and welcome to Barry Billing and Shervin Rehani. So thank you. Please go ahead. I'm just going to do a short introduction. So Barry is the director of the Institute of Engineering Technology of Ontario, so OACETT, registrar, and is responsible for admission, certification, and registration for their 25,000 members. And we also have Shervin, who is an OACETT member and the Vice President of Professional Affairs and Services Board with over 33 years of experience. So if you have any questions for Barry or Sherwin, please feel free to type them in the chat box and or the Q&A section. So thank you for joining us, Barry and Sherwin. Please go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'll be going through a little bit of introduction with ourselves. My name is Sherwin Rehani, as Rami mentioned, and I'm happy to be here today. I'm a long member of Ontario Association of Certified Engineering Technicians and Technologists, also known as OSAT. Like most of you here today, I immigrated to Canada in search of a better life and opportunity. One of the most important things I did outside of my moving to this great country was joining OSAT, my professional association. I've come a long way since first arriving and have advanced personally and professionally through my careers. As you can see from my title, I'm a Certified Engineering Technologist, also known as CET, and the Vice President of the OSAT's Professional Affairs and Services Board. This is a volunteer post I hold in high esteem, and with which I help to lead my association. I'm honored to join you today to inform you of who OSAT is, what we do for internationally educated professionals like yourselves, what is required to become OSAT certified, and why you should consider joining this great organization. Now, OSAT represents over 25,000 members in 15 engineering, technology, and applied science disciplines, working for over 6,000 companies across Ontario. Like myself, our members join as associate members, first and later become certified in their discipline of engineering and applied science technologies. Now, as you can see, this is a snapshot of OSAT's 15 disciplines. Personally speaking, I'm a certified civil engineering technologist. Some of the more common disciplines amongst OSAT members are civil, mechanical, electrical, building, environmental, chemical, and electronic engineering, and applied science technology. However, we have representation in all disciplines you see before you and provide specialized offerings to each. OSAT is Ontario's independent certifying body for engineering and applied science technicians, also known as CTEC, and technologies known as CET, like myself. OSAT provides member certification, discounted career-long educational opportunities, and safe and secure communities. As engineering technologists and technicians, safety is always top of mind. Excuse me. This brings me to my next point. What does OSAT do for its members? Whether you are an internationally educated professional or an individual studying at an Ontario college, we work to ensure our members become OSAT certified. Excuse me. As I will touch in a few minutes, certification helps to bring you the professional recognition needed to secure a job and advance in our profession. Secondly, we advocate for our members and the profession to industry, colleges, provincial and municipal governments, other associations like our partner, the Ontario Society of Professional Engineers. In addition to these points, we help all our members along with their career path from the time they first join as students or experienced professionals, as many of you are here today, to retirement. So OSAT was honored to be recognized by Randstad Canada in 2020 for having one of the top 5 most valuable engineering certifications. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with Randstad Canada. It's one of Canada's largest professional recruitment and human resources firms with over 55 offices across Canada. I know this statement to be accurate, not only from my years of experience and recognition as a member or certified by OSAT. But I encourage everyone here today following this presentation to go to a job board and type the word OSAT into the search feature. You will see how many well-paying jobs come up where OSAT membership and certifications are preferred. So, what are the benefits of being OSAT certified, OSAT certified? Well, just mentioned, OSAT and its certification are recognized throughout the province by companies and institutions who hire our members. In addition to this, OSAT certified members earn competitive salaries compared to non-certified members. However, it should be noted that it looks great on a resume as well if you're working towards your OSAT certification. Having an OSAT certification is also a mark of professional achievement, as there are specific requirements you meet to earn this designation. You will learn more about these requirements in a few minutes. Lastly, OSAT certification is important because it opens the doors for professional growth in leadership positions like the one I currently hold at the local chapter level. There are many opportunities available to those who are looking to make connections and grow their leadership skills. Now we'll pass the floor to Barry Billings, OSAT's Director of Institute of Technology of Ontario, also known as IETO, and Registrar.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Barry.
Thank you. Thank you as well, Shervin, and good afternoon, everybody. So Shervin just spoke about the benefits of being certified, and I would just like to take a few minutes to discuss the process of becoming certified itself. So initially what the first step is for you to apply to OSAT. So there's a supporting documentation as well as the application itself that you would have to submit to OSAT in order for our admissions committee to review your information and from there assess your eligibility to become a certified technician or certified technologist. So looking at step one, when you apply, you would automatically become an associate of the association. While we're reviewing your file, we want you to be recognized as an associate and you would get a membership number. Part of being a member of OSAT and having your information reviewed, the first step is we would need a transcript from your institution or something in line with notification of work that you have done. So the first step when submitting your application would be to provide some of the supporting documents that you have on hand, which would then get reviewed by an admissions committee to indicate where you would be as far as certification goes. So OSAT allows for two types of certified members. We have what is called certified technicians, which is also a title that we can bestow that's listed here in brackets as C-Tech. What that involves is that we would look at your information, and if you have at least a 2-year diploma, the equivalency of a 2-year diploma from an Ontario Institute in Engineering Technology or Applied Science, you would be eligible to become a C-Tech. Along with that, you would also need to have 2 years of work experience in your profession. At the time of applying, you don't need the 2 years at that time, but in order to be certified, we would need 2 years of experience. Also, and we will touch on this later, is the completion of a professional practice exam. In this case, it's the Internationally Educated Professional Practice Exam and a language proficiency, of level 7, Canadian language benchmark of level 7. The key differences between the certified technician C-Tech as to the certified engineering technology CET is that for a CET, you would need the equivalent of a 3-year diploma. So C-Tech would be 2 years. We would be looking for an equivalent of 3 years for a CET. And then the last bullet point here, the fourth one is the completion of a successful technology report. That's an addition that you would need to do as part of your technology certification. And we will touch on that a little bit through the slide as well. So again, what we look at when you submit your application are two separate areas. First, we're looking at your academics, and secondly, we're looking at your work experience. So as indicated before, to be an associate member, you would need the equivalence of an engineering, technology, or applied science program, 2 years towards CTEC or 3 towards CET. In order to do that, as indicated, we would need some sort of proof of your education. So what we do require is if you have the ability to actually send it from your post-secondary institute directly, that is preferred. But we realize that many may not have that ability. So secondly, what you would need to do is provide a notarized copy made of your official transcripts before sending to OSET. So you would need to take it to a lawyer or a notary to have it notarized and a copy then sent to us. What they do is they indicate that they have seen the official true copy of the transcript and they have validated it before submitting it to us. Should your transcript be in a language other than English, it needs to be translated, and we recommend using the Association of Translators and Interpreters of Ontario, otherwise known as ATIO. They are located in Toronto, and there are other translators that can assist you with doing that as well. So what the associate members need to do is, as stated, is the first step that you're working towards certification. And you will be sent personalized steps on what's needed to be certified. So as you work towards the road to certification, we have staff that will be helping you along the way. The admissions committee, as I mentioned, will indicate any items that they would need that they haven't received, or perhaps updated items that they would need. And you can also obtain a lot of this within 1 year after applying. So once we have your academics and your work experience, it takes a couple of months, but generally within a year we could have certification, providing you meet all the requirements that have been asked of you. We do allow a pretty large timeline to have this occur, so you can have up to 3 years to complete your requirements for certification. We allow for 3 years to have the ability to have 2 years of the work experience. So if you're just new to the country and you are currently looking for work, we allow you 3 years. Within those 3 years, we hope you're successful in employment and gain 2 years of experience. If for some reason we feel the academics, we need another course or 2 for you to achieve certification, then we allow for 6 years for that to happen in order for you to go to school or alternately achieve the courses through another method. So if you did not graduate from a post-secondary engineering or applied science program, you can still apply for associate membership, but you would need at least a minimum of the 1 year post-secondary technology academics. Oh, sorry, I'm not sure what happened there. 1 second. I touched my mouse and away it went. Okay. Or you can have a combination of academics and work experience. And that work experience really has to be a lengthy work experience of more than 10 years. So as stated before, we expect 2 years of academics. So definitely if you have 1, you're well on your way, but you would need to know that you do have additional academics that we would need you to complete. So that would be what the admissions committee would do, and they would indicate to you what items you would need. So for instance, academic upgrading is required to certify. If you haven't achieved the 2 years, you'll be told these are the following courses we believe you need to take in order to get to the next level. And we would spell out what you would be required, and you will take it to a college or obtain it through other online learning. I'm sorry. So to achieve these upgraded requirements, you can complete college courses. We also have self-study technical exams. So you can apply to write a technical exam. We would provide some study material for you, allow you time to as much time as you need to actually write your exam. You can write it at our OSET office, or you can write it in another location with a proctor overseeing your work. The exams generally are 2 to 3 hours in length. Once completed, it will get sent back to us, and we will mark it and indicate to you your success on your exams. Another area that we could allow for is the prior learning assessment recognition. So you can get credit for some of your prior learning. But what I would like to stress is that this PLAR does not allow for a full replacement of academics. What we will allow is likely up to perhaps a semester or 4 courses of proof of competency in various courses that we've indicated you should take. To do the PLAR, it does require a little bit of time. We suggest 2 to 3 months to put together a portfolio that would demonstrate to someone who is unfamiliar with engineering technology of what your skills are, and how you would prove it is through indication of work that you've done, certificates or learning that you have done over time, and submitting it to OSET, which will then review it and indicate if we can award any new courses to you for this prior learning that you've completed. Another area that we have suggested, just to see what, if you feel you are a technologist, but you want to confirm it, or you think you could be a certified technician, is the website located here, Technology Registration Canada. This is sort of a self-assessment. You'll be asked a bunch of questions on your knowledge and how comfortable you feel with various things. And at the end of that questionnaire, it will tell you at what level you should be looking to become a certified member with OSET. So it's a bit of a little tool that can be used to help you make an assessment even before you actually apply to OSET, just to see if you are eligible to become a certified member. So as I said before, that was academics. For work experience and the CTEC designation, it requires 2 years of work experience at the appropriate technician level. And generally that means working under general supervision, and located below are some of the areas of work that you would do as a technician. The CTEC would be similar in that you need 2 years of work experience at the appropriate technologist level, but this is more at a higher level where you work independently or under basic direction, and you currently hold a role of supervisor or manager, and your activities are a little higher, and they are at a technologist level. And again, these are some of the areas that a CET would be involved in doing, and that would be shown on their resume. So all applicants, in order to be certified, have to write a professional practice exam. And in this case, we are discussing the Internationally Educated Professional Practice Exam, and that is an exam that's 3.5 hours long and basically focuses on law, practice, and ethics. And so by passing the IEPPE, it demonstrates your awareness of legal and ethical responsibility to the public, the employers, and to yourself. So this is something, again, that we all have to pass in order to be given a certification designation. The other item that is a requirement is that the English language proficiency at the level of 7, the Canadian language benchmark, which demonstrates the 4 skills listed here, listening, reading, writing, and speaking, is also a requirement for our membership. And under that, there are 4 types of exams that OSET recognizes. The first one is IELTS Academics. The academics level is at a higher level than IELTS General, and for associations, it's academics that is required. So again, there's 2 different types. We want to see the IELTS Academics. The same for the TOEFL score. There's a internet-based test, IBT. There's also a paper-based test. We do not approve the paper-based test, but we will accept the internet-based tests. And the 2 other ones that are not as used as often, but will be accepted, are CAEL and PTE. Things that are done at local YMCA or something like that when first coming to the country would not be accepted. These are the type of exams that we do accept, as they are recognized worldwide. The other thing that can happen is you've achieved this through your educational requirements, and your education was administered in English. So on our website, we actually have a list of countries that qualify. If you have been educated in one of those countries, then your English language benchmark, the test will not be required, and our admissions committee would indicate that it was not a requirement, that it's already been achieved through your education. And so another area, if you're wanting to be a technologist, as mentioned before, there's one extra item that needs to be done, and that's the technology report. So the purpose of this is to assess your ability to examine and describe an engineering or applied science technology program. And the process for doing so would be submitting a proposal, which we would then approve your proposal. Once the proposal's been completed, then we would ask you to actually fill in the full technology report for assessment within 1 year of your approval. Again, our admissions committee would review it, mark it, indicate the success of your technology report. So how do you actually join? First of all, I would say you would go to our website, www.ocet.org, and select the login button, which is shown in step 2. You would click the button that says sign up and join, enter in your email and your password, and then click the button that says sign up. And from there, you would create a profile and complete your IEP application. There'd be a series of questions, and you would just answer the question that indicates I'm internationally educated professional, and it will take you to the appropriate application. And from there, you would just fill it in and submit it to OSET. So at this time, I just wanted to mention one last thing before handing it over to Shervin, and that is that we have a new Canadian offer, which waives the application fee. So if you actually have arrived in Canada within the last year, you are eligible for this opportunity. What we would need from our perspective is that we would need some proof of landing, your permanent landing status, or a visa showing that you entered into Canada within the last year. And from there, we would be able to waive the fee that is required for the application. And that's just will help you on your journey to certification. So at this point, I'd like to just turn the floor back over to Shervin on a couple of more items. So Shervin, are you ready to go? Here we are.
Yes, thank you, Barry. Thank you for that clear and concise explanation of how to become members of OSAT. Now, we have gone through the benefits of OSAT certification and what is required to certify. However, there are still more bonuses to become an OSAT member. One of the most essential benefits is networking. We have plenty of networking opportunities at OSAT proper and chapter events, as there are 27 local chapters throughout the province of Ontario. As the saying goes, it's not always what you know, but who you know, and that will help you advance in your career as you go along. OSAT also has a job board with opportunities specifically for technicians and technologists throughout the country. Beyond this, OSAT members get preferred rates on home and auto insurance, something I take advantage of myself very dearly, life and disability insurance, and many services from hotels to attractions. With Ontario opening up, we can begin to use these benefits again and enjoy the benefits of being members of OSAT as well. OSAT members also receive discounts on continued professional development opportunities, which can be anything from Lean Sigma to construction management, PMP certification, and the list goes on. So now I'd like to maybe say a few words about my journey and what I found. What does that mean? I found in OSAT the purpose of a professional association, which are the purposes of professional association, which are to providing opportunity to meet professionals in our field and develop a network. They offer professional development courses and workshops where we can demonstrate our experience, and they give us opportunities to engage and volunteer in our field. They offered me key insights that can help me decide my next steps in my career. my involvement in the association, as well as the certification and my title in my resume makes it indicates that I'm a relevant individual, and I have committed to the investment that I have made in my education, as well as my field of chosen practice. So in a nutshell, OSAT has helped me to research and insight into current trends in the profession, has helped me with professional development. I've been able to attend many of these networking events. The ones you see on the screen right now, and the picture on the left is when I was the chair of the awards committee with my esteemed colleague, Michael Belmonte. And the one on the right is the picture of me and one of our colleagues doing a presentation at University of Waterloo on certification and OSAT membership. So as far as the OSAT is concerned, we also offer the job boards where you can browse through various job opportunities. They also provide us with the resources and tools, and also mentorship. So these are the steps that things that have helped me all throughout my career and my journey with OSAT as an immigrant to allowing me to be relevant as well as recognized as a professional in my chosen field. I would like to invite everyone here today to attend the OSAT's virtual event for internationally educated professional, a background in engineering, technology, and applied science. This will take place on Thursday, September 23rd, and we will have speakers provide expert tips for technology, professionals from resumes to interviews. We will also host a network session with our members as well. The best part is it's all free to attend. If you'd like to register, please visit us at the OSAT website. On behalf of OSAT, I would like to thank everyone for your time. Should you have any questions about certification, please reach out to OSAT staff member, Elizabeth Kim, for more with the contact information as you see on the screen. And that brings me to the end of my presentation, and I'll turn the table back to Raina.
Thank you so much for that. I'm just trying to get my video back. I believe you have a video that we're showing for you. My colleague Laura will
Yes.
put this back on.
Okay.
Just 1 second, everyone.
And we'll get to questions after. We may have about time for 2-3 questions. So great.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, please go ahead.
Why are you more qualified than other candidates?
Well, first, I'm OSAT certified.
OSAT certification. Tell me more.
Well, actually, we are...
What is OSAT? We are the professionals who design, maintain, and repair the electronic equipment that makes our world so incredible, and so much more.
We are the experts who make advanced products that touch every aspect of your life.
We are the professionals who help your companies save time and money with our experience and expertise.
We are the professionals that plan, design, and supervise the infrastructure that makes this province and economy successful.
We are the engineering technicians and technologists, the part of a skilled team that builds the community in which you live in.
We are professionals who are passionate about the environment by providing services including sampling, modeling, and assessments, all in an effort to protect this great province of ours.
When can you start?
Thank you. So when you ask, what is OSAT certification? I say we are.
We are.
We are.
We are.
We are. We are future ready.
Our certification?
Your success.
Thank you for that, and thank you for your presentations. So we'll go to the questions. The first one is, do you have any insights into how you see the renewable energies sector's field opportunities coming up in Atlantic Canada? That's a very specific question. So if you'd rather share your email and have that question emailed to you, we can have that as well.
I can give a quick answer just on one particular renewable energy or product, in a sense. Renewable energy, as far as the solar panels and wind energy, has become huge in Ontario. As some of you may know, that Ontario has stopped using coal power generating stations, and we use completely with renewable energy. Now, as far as other provinces are concerned, but there may be some perhaps political will, or it could be the infrastructure that's not in place. But that's the way the country is headed. Canada to meet with the 2050 environmental goals, they have to do what they can, and I'm sure the renewable energy sector would be benefiting quite a bit all across Canada, including the eastern provinces.
Thank you for that. That was, would you like them to follow up with you, or that was a great answer? That was pretty comprehensive.
Well, that's I'm not too familiar with the field itself. I'm more on the renewable product side of things, but I do have this is some of the information that I had. But they can absolutely get in touch with me or Barry, and then we'll be more than happy to put them in contact with more people who are more familiar with this particular topic.
So I encourage all our viewers to send those questions, because we have a lot of specific questions that have come up. Here's one. My undergrad is in chemical engineering and I'm doing biomedical engineering, but I have no experience in either, and I'm in the Ontario area. Any advice to getting experience in either of these fields? Another specific question.
Yeah, so we get this often. So I think a first step is to become associate with OSET and become, showing that you're working towards certification. I think that always helps an individual with their job search, to show that you are that you really want to be in this industry, and you're striving to become certified over time, and that you are just looking for some experience. And we believe that when you've indicated that you're associated with this association, it does help open some doors for you. At least it raises an interest in what it is and what you're trying to achieve. So I would say that's the first step while you're working towards your certification. And as mentioned in my presentation, we do allow a number of years for you to become certified, because we know things can be difficult at certain times of the year in the economy, and it's difficult to find a job. So I would say this would be helpful for the individual to get started and get a foot in a door somewhere to get experience and ultimately become certified.
And if I may add as well, for those of you who are living in Ontario at the present time, once you become members of OSAT as an associate or CTEC or CET, I would strongly suggest joining your local chapter as well. As I mentioned earlier, we have 27 chapters across the province, and that's where you're back to networking that we mentioned earlier, in order for you to gain that knowledge as to how to apply, where to apply, and where to get the experience that you need.
Great, thank you. How can I apply for the international student offer?
Yes, so you would do similar to the regular application, and as stated before, we would need some sort of documentation as to you arriving in the country within the last year. From that, and Elizabeth Kim's name's been put on and again, I see it's popped up here. She would look after that for you, so you'd just be in contact with her, and she would take care of it. And if you have to submit money initially, which I'm not sure if you do, it would be reimbursed. We do waive that application fee for you as an incentive for our newcomers to become members of OSET and just help the journey a little bit. So
great, thank you so much. There are more questions, but you can see the contact information that OACTT is sharing in the chat box. So please write down those email addresses, and reach out to them directly, because that's all the time we have today. And thank you to everyone for attending today's session. And we'd like to thank our sponsors, ACCES Employment and Public Mobile. And special thanks to all our speakers, Arti, Rizal, Barry, Shervin, for joining us today and sharing your skills and expertise with everyone. So thanks to all of you, and thanks to our sponsors, ACCES Employment and Public Mobile. So if you've missed anything, this web conference is being posted on our YouTube channel and on our website as well. So if you have any questions, additional questions, please email us at info@canadianimmigrant.ca. So thank you to all our attendees. We have a few more webinars coming up for internationally trained professionals. So let your community know for the professions that they're in and they're interested in. So thank you to everyone, speakers, and our audience, and look forward to seeing you again. Thanks so much.